Real talk for the bold, bruised, and built to last. Welcome to the Built This Way podcast with Patricia Mullen.
And we're back. Don't you love it when I say that? But no, this one really is back. Because when I first started this podcast, or when I tried to, which I need to stop apologizing for that, because honestly, what great practice. I got to practice my first episode that may never hear the light of day because we just had really shitty audio. I didn't know what I was doing. It was practice, right? And sometimes you try things and you fail at them. And then if you're lucky, like me, and you get the right resources and people that want to try again with you, you get to practice again. So we're actually going to make this one live, Dan. Welcome, Dan Crist. How's it going?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, I want to introduce you. Thank you for being here. Dan spend, I don't know, almost as much time as me talking on a weekly basis that probably my husband, my podcast husband, Patrick. And because we get to work together and we always have these conversations. We're like, we should be recording this. This would be so great.
Here you are. You did it.
And he is in one of those tumultuous businesses that change all the freaking time because he's in HVAC. He owns multiple businesses, and also, to back up, is probably a lot like me. Not that I have multiple businesses, but that I like to do multiple things because he, I would think, is a serial entrepreneur. So I don't know if you listened to this last week's episode, but it is so timely that you're here. Welcome, Dan, owner of Centsible HVAC out of Coloma, Michigan. If you're looking for a system, I help him with some marketing. So
there you go. We're here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. But welcome. You look great.
Yeah, thanks. Right back at you.
Thanks. You look very calm.
The sun is not shining here, though. I'm sure. It's a little bit, but not very much. Not where you're from.
Your board behind you looks super busy in the background because it looks like you guys are kind of busy anyway.
Yeah, there's always something going on. There's always something happening here. That's our war room back there right now. We have people training in there for EPA stuff and
for war.
We meet. It's our war room.
At least you're in the state of Michigan, where winter never ends and summer can't come fast enough.
I know.
And you're in the biz.
I think we dropped 40 degrees yesterday in like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I miss it so much, and I still refer it as home whenever I think of it. Yeah. Or whenever I think of home, or I'm talking about home or back home, it's always, to me, it's Southwest Michigan. But when I think of and I have these conversations, I'm like, I'm so happy I live in the South, and one of my first world problems is keeping the humidity down on my hair.
When is the cutoff? Like when you move somewhere, what is the time that you're there that then you become part of, from there? Like I came up from south suburbs of Chicago, so I've been up here since '89. Mm-hmm. But I still say I'm from Chicago. At some point, I should say I'm from Michigan because,
I was literally just going to ask, like, where you grew up, because not a lot of people that I know in Southwest in that area or are from there, or parents are from there. They migrated actually from.
They sure did. They sure did. I think it's because of the lakes and the vacation spots for sure.
It's such a beautiful place. It really is. And like the people that go there, if you've never been to Lake Michigan, they freak out when they see it because it's literally like the ocean, and you can't. I've described it to people, but they just don't get it. Like it is actually like a lake that's the ocean, and if it's a really clear day, you may see Chicago if you're on the water. Which we're boaters, so we have that in common. Which
you have to get out. You can't just do it you can't just see it from the river, because that's not the true representation. You need to get out of the mud flow of the lake or the river and see how blue the lake is. It's beautiful.
I literally haven't even had that life since we moved, because we got into boating the year before I moved away, and then moved to Alabama. And it's a different sort of like boating because it's river boating, but it's also as big as Lake Michigan could be, but you're surrounded by mountains. So that's the Tennessee Valley River.
Right.
And we had about a season, and then I think I was just heavily medicated, and my husband convinced me to upgrade our boat and sell our old boat, which I feel really bad because I heard those folks that have it, we're still friends with them, and they actually live where I live, which is so wild. sold it
That's
on Facebook
crazy.
Marketplace, and now we're friends again 4 years later. But that boat's having some problems, which every boat is. And
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can still even can call myself a boater, Dan, because I haven't been on mine in 4 years. And I'm so excited that this is the year I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do it. But we upgraded our boat and literally, well, talk about ADD and all this other stuff. But like we renamed our boat the Dom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very
And
cool.
it was until we did the do you know about boats and rechange? Have you ever renamed a boat?
No,
Dude, okay, don't.
it's bad luck, so I don't.
Our old boat's name was shitty. It was like something like Boots Off or something dumb. And so we get this boat. It's a badass boat. My husband's so excited. We were on the Tennessee River, so we're going to use it, right? But one of the first things we got to do when we license it, because we have to license it with the Coast Guard or whatever, is you have to officially name it. We're not going to officially name it this dumb name. We're going to officially name it something cool that's literally tattooed on my shoulder. Of course it is. So what happens? We do the official, because if you don't know about boaters are super suspicious, or superstitious, not suspicious. Don't be suspicious. We're super.
We both. Yeah,
You get what I'm saying. I can't talk. Suspicious, superstitious, shit. We're those type of people. So like, no bananas on boats. Supposedly no flowers. Ironically, I named it after our flower. Damn it, I wasn't thinking. And then you're not supposed to have like, ironically, women and things, because that's the old school thing of like old, pirates or whatever. But women love boats, so whatever. That rules out the window. No red wine. So, anyways, we're renaming this boat, and we're doing the champagne toast where you pour out to your homies Neptune and Poseidon, and you do this ritual thing, and you're supposed to have 2 metal tags. Oh, I see your son in the background. I know.
Sorry.
So no, it's cool. I so there's these 2 metal tags, and you write the name of the old boat's name, and then you write the new boat's name on there, or the new name, and then you put it in the water. But you use like a Sharpie or something.
Yeah.
So when our tags hit the water, it dissipated, and I looked at my husband's hand, and it was an expo marker. And about 30 minutes later, we lost our engines. And I'm not saying after putting several $100s in of a full tank of gas that was a superstitious faux pas, but I'm telling you that was a superstitious faux pas. So if you have the choice, go with the stupid fucking name and keep your boat on the water.
Just buy the boat with the right name.
So anyways, it was a long ADHD way of explaining that I really miss Lake Michigan boating.
Yeah, I miss it too in the wintertime.
So I'm looking forward to boating in the South and coming up there and hanging out with you at some point.
Yep, that'd be cool.
We've talked about it for years.
You're right. Yep.
So
there's always something that comes up.
Enough about boating and weirdness. Back to you. You said you grew up in Chicago. Where at?
Yeah, I grew up in a little town called South Holland, Illinois. Yeah, it's about not little, about 25,000 people.
How did you end up over where you're at now?
I think it's probably the same reason most people come from Chicago, because of the lakes. My mom and dad came up here, and I think they started out at Sister Lakes and then found a place on Pawpaw Lake, and then we just kept on doing the weekend thing, the weekend warrior thing, and then finally I got tired of Chicago and moved up here in 89, I think 89, 90, something like that.
You are from there, bro. You can totally say it. You're not from there.
I don't want to go back. I don't
alive. Almost.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't miss it at all. I don't care to go back. I have 2 sisters that live in Indiana, like in Northwest Indiana. They moved out of Illinois, but I don't really care to go back. It takes me like 15 miles will take you an hour there, where, it takes you 15 minutes here. It's just nuts. I don't know how people deal with it. I have no patience for the traffic anymore.
If that's what you know, or that's what you thrive on, then that's great. I think when I was younger, I had a desire to be in a bigger city. Like, I always remember growing up in really small cities, actually. And I thought, I'm going to live in a big city, and the older I get, the farther away from a big city I want to be.
Yeah.
I used to seek out activity, and now I seek out peace. Ironically, activity is what makes me thrive. So, I just sought out for that.
Good for you.
That was also why I wanted to talk to you, though, on the show, because when we talk about different things, you've always got different ideas.
Oh, God.
When I seem like we're very, very similar. Were you like that as a teenager, too?
Yeah, I was a dreamer. Man,
Yeah.
I'd be in school and it'd be like I'd try to be everywhere but in school. I was not a student. My kids are very smart. I don't know where it came from. It has to come from my wife because it didn't come from me.
Oh my gosh, she's incredibly smart, but it also came from you, bro. It's okay. You can say it.
The dreamer part, and you know what? It's nice when I see the kids now. I see both of my boys. They're like, all of a sudden they were like, now they're starting to get interested in what I'm doing and what we've been doing for the last couple of years. They see me doing some developments or see, buying houses or whatever we're doing. Or, Sensible now. Hunter's working for me. You see him back there.
Yeah, I see his head.
So he's the exit strategy, right? So he'll be taking over the show as soon as he can, and then I'll be able to get onto something else, which I'm hoping will be a little bit of retirement, but still doing something else. Because me, I'm not going to stop. I'm just like it just keeps on going.
You're not going to stop, but you are so incredibly smart and blessed that you
Yeah,
have an exit strategy now. Because when you said that, that's one of the biggest problems that any business owner, that if their business lasts to that point where they actually go, shit, I would like to retire. What do I do with this business right now? Does somebody
yeah,
want to buy it? I haven't been thinking about how to get it together or all that. Not everybody has a succession or someone that wants to buy their business while you're still in your prime, and you could still teach them and groom
yeah,
them, put them in a place where they can also be successful. A lot of people will look back and go, I want to retire next year.
yeah.
I can close it, convince an employee to buy it, or try to sell it to somebody else and see what happens. And not like, 9 times out of 10, they're still going to be stuck with that business for 5+ years trying to get
Right.
themselves out of it. So
And this is
that's
one of the hardest businesses, I think, that you have to have somebody involved, for years prior to you leaving, because there's so many things going on in this crazy business of HVAC. It's just nuts.
well, not all the equipment is new, and not
Yeah,
all of everyone that's learning all of the new stuff knows how to manage and handle the older stuff. And
yeah,
most people in older homes, or when you go into place, if it needs to be replaced, the system's probably older, right? So and
right,
not all those need to actually be replaced all the
right,
time
right.
either. And I don't know, because I'm not on that side of the business, what the business teaches when they go to school. Is it get into a place where it is a replacement, or try to salvage the units as long as possible? But I also know about your business, it's been one of the most, when I brought up tumultuous before, is a lot of this stuff is out of your control. And it's
No,
not just about weather, it's about pricing and regulations, and anything that happens with the government also
yeah,
affects your business, and just it's unreal. So I mean, just being able to keep up with that and teaching someone else to do the business side of it.
yeah. It's a lot. It's
Uh-huh.
just you have to be you have to be driven to be self-employed. First of all, but this business you have to be driven, and you have to have a lot of patience, because things change overnight. They change daily. They change by the minute. It's just nuts, because things happen. If it's mechanical, it's going to break, right? So things happen. You have
Yeah.
gas leaks, you have water leaks, you have all these emergencies that can happen, and it's hard to schedule things that way. It
What
really
was
is.
your what was your first business? Because I'm like, did you go
Oh shit.
own an HVAC company someday? It seems really fun.
Oh jeez. I was
I
talking to
did
somebody.
that a couple years ago. I really did want to, but you're making it seem really fun. No.
No,
No.
yeah, right. The shit we go through. Um, believe it or not, my first job turned into my first business, because my first job was I was detailing cars at a used car lot. And then I liked it so much, just buffing and detailing the cars out, that I started doing it at home. And I had cars coming from different companies and stuff, were bringing cars. And I was like 16 years old. Like, I didn't know shit, but I went to work at the used car lot, and then I started doing it on my own. And then I got bored with that, because unfortunately, or fortunately, that's one way or the other. I got to keep things going. I got to keep moving. I got to have all these ideas and things in my head. So then I started working at a gas station, and worked at a gas station for a few years pumping gas, and then started working on cars in the back. And then next thing you know, I'm a mechanic at the gas station. And then I don't know what happened, but I'm 18, 19 years old, got into construction, and that's kind of where I've been in and out of construction probably the rest of my life.
Well, you're still in construction
I kind of still am. I'm between building
development.
the developments and the storage units, and then you know HVAC company, and whatever else. I don't know.
So
I just been doing a lot of different things. I mean, I Jesus, my story. It's
yeah, you have to share.
yeah, it's I just I think that was part of the reason why I came up here too, because I got tired of doing that. I was a carpenter for a big development company in Chicago, and I was there for 4 or 5 years, and I got laid off for that's what happened. We would get laid off in the summer or in the winter time when things were slow, but and then I decided I needed to move up here because I was having too much fun back home, and I needed to make a change that was better for me. Um, and I moved up here, and believe it or not, I started a restaurant. It's like, what the hell am I thinking? But I told myself by the time I was 26, I'm going to have a restaurant. And sure as shit, I moved up here when I was 26 and I started a restaurant. I went to this friend of the family's, and he had some money, and we came up with a partnership where I was a silent partner. And so I did the restaurant we started in a small restaurant in downtown Coloma, and then we moved to a bigger restaurant, ironically, that's right next door to where my office is in Coloma. So I did that for 4 years, and I was good at it. It's just Coloma is not the best place to have a restaurant, right? Because you're busy in the summertime, and in the wintertime, the business isn't there. It's just not, right? So then you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do and survive, and it's not easy, and it's a tough business. Restaurant owners work their ass off, and
Well, yeah.
people don't realize how hard it is to run a restaurant.
When you're heavy local dependent in your off seasons and there's not as much, and then you're heavy or tourist dependent in
Yeah.
your prime season, and you have to staff more and have
Oh,
just
yeah.
and be open different hours. It's a cool place because it's like during those off times, I feel like the locals there they love it because they get their town back, and but yeah, during the busy seasons. But that's the good and the annoying about living next to a beautiful lake.
Right. Yeah.
I like to go there.
I think people, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, I seem to always have this thing where I want to help people. It seems like every business that I've been in, I'm trying to help somebody, except for maybe the building the toy barns and stuff like that. That's really not helping anybody. That's providing a necessity for something, not a necessity. I'll never scratch that, but I'm trying to say it's providing whatever it is, right? But it's not.
Well, luxury, and just to pause.
Yeah, but it's
The toy barn. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is a barn?
It's like within the HVAC business, it's like you're helping somebody, right?
Yeah.
And if you're like in the restaurant business, people coming in, you're helping, serving them or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I guess I like helping people.
Yeah. And basically in anything that you've done, I mean, it could go both ways. I was talking about this on my last show, as we were talking about, having to help people and then prioritizing and then figure out which ones, so that you your energy to where you basically just don't get burnt out. And for me, that's what would happen in past jobs and things, is probably why I'm self-employed, because in this role, I get to control how much I help people, or how much I give out, or what energy, or where that energy goes. And that's the beautiful thing about being a business owner, right? Is that we get that choice. There's a lot more not beautiful things, I feel like, about being a business owner, especially around this time till April 15th. Just feeling that now. But the other parts of it is that if you want to do something different with your life, you can come up with a plan to do that. And you're not always stuck in the thing, even if you tattoo it on your shoulder, like I did. But I did for other reasons, so it's not like it's
you got that drive. You got the drive like I do. It's that fire is burning in your belly, right? And you just gotta keep moving. You got it. I mean, it's just crazy that you have to wake up every morning and just wake up and just be in that mindset of I gotta go. I gotta get something done.
I'm trying to get in the mindset of thank you that I woke up today, and let me do the best that I can with today. Because I gotta go. It's great And there's that high of, oh my gosh, so much is happening. But there's also that burnout of, holy shit, so much is happening.
Yeah.
And I am learning how to take on less. And, even the show, did I need to start a show? Kind of, yeah. Because I needed something for me and I needed a way to help people, just like you were saying, but
Yeah.
also help myself and do something creative in a form that allowed me to control it in any way that I want, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not someone else's baby per se, but I also get to do all the other things. And it's not as connected to my business. And if it was, I wouldn't care, but that's not what it's about. I don't do a podcast to share stories and talk about other people's lives because it's, helping me. It is helping me because it's enriching my life. I'm learning so much. I'm meeting people from all over the world. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really good at it. So the selfish part of me is also kind of vain. It's like, I'm good at this, so I need to keep doing it.
Good for you.
But I'm having fun again. And
Yeah.
and so I am trying to do more of those things when it brings me joy. And some of those things are in volunteer forms. Last year my friend had a food drive and I went, but really it was more to help her than it was to help the food drive. You know what I mean? Because they had so many people. Like, did they need another person? No. I worked my ass off that day because I was there and I wanted to give what I had. But I don't do that all the time anymore just because I want to help people like you, my family. And I'm realizing there is so much time in the day. And honestly, I've been through a lot of shit. And even trying to accumulate other businesses or do other businesses, like for me, I don't need it. But if it's fun or it aligns with our life goals, then I'm going to be about it.
Right.
So anyway, let's talk about risk because I've not talked about risk with people. And I feel like you're a really good person to talk about risk with.
Oh, God.
Because we're talking about business and having all these businesses. And there's so much highlight when people talk about the good part of business. And there is sometimes a lot of benefit. And they say the biggest risk, the benefit. But yeah, what's the biggest business risk you've ever taken?
Well,
isn't that a weird question?
It's not, there's not even a contest. I bought me and a couple other guys bought a marina in St. Joe. It was called Harbor Isle.
Okay.
And we bought it to put up condos. And so we bought it in the worst possible time you could ever buy anything. It was in 2008, the end of 2008. So we bought this marina. It was like $6,300,000 or something. That was a huge number back then. Well, even now it's a good number. And then we were tearing it down and we were putting up condos. So we started taking down buildings. We started the pre-sales on the first building, which was, I think there's 56 units in there and 38 were under hard contract. $40,000 down. Each buyer was ready to go. We were ready to build. And the bank kept on stalling. And it was like, what the hell is going on? Well, about a month later, Lehman Brothers falls apart. The whole market crashes. And then the bank comes to us. The bank comes to us and says, we can't do the deal. You're going to have to take it somewhere else. It's like there wasn't a bank in the world, well, at least in the United States, that was doing any kind of real estate development loans. Speculative. That was not happening. And we had two projects going. That was one of them. And the other one was when we were starting in Coloma, senior living facility called Tuscany Hills. And both of them were at the bank, ready to go. It was great projects, and then it just blew apart.
Yeah.
And then the bank comes calling and says, hey, if you're not taking it somewhere else, we're going to foreclose on you. And at that time, every developer that was in this same situation was like, freaking do it. There's nothing we can do. We were done. We were cooked. And so that's what happened. They went into foreclosure, and that was a shit show. Holy smokes. They brought in I can't remember what they call it. The bank comes in. I can't remember the name of it is. But anyways, a receiver. So the bank this is embarrassing, but it's like real. I mean, this is how shitty things got real quick.
Yeah.
So the bank goes in this, flexes their muscles and says, we're foreclosing on the bank. So we're thinking we got 6 months or a year, we're trying to work this thing out. We're still running the marina, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my attorney calls and says, "Hey, Dan," he says, "you got 10 minutes before the bank's receiver will be there to take over the business."
10 minutes?
Yeah. So it's like, so I got my personal shit out of there in 10 minutes. My
That's
private,
so
I
dramatic.
have boats and shit in there and whatever. So we pulled those out of there. And then, so the receiver comes in, and what a bunch of dickheads. These
They
guys,
are.
these guys were,
You're all
they
a
were
bunch of
freaking assholes. If you ever had to deal with a receivership, it is a license. The bank gives you, the courts give the banks a license to steal. The receiver comes in and says, "We're taking over." They take over your bank accounts. They take over the keys. They take over everything. At that
Oh
point,
my God.
when they come in and they take over, whatever they do, they get away with. They're supposed to secure the asset, and what ends up happening is they rape and pillage the asset and take whatever the hell they can and sell it, make some money on the side. But they're not supposed to do any of that. But the courts give them this carte blanche to do whatever the hell they want to do, and it's disgusting. So I
Wow.
would constantly. So I'm sitting there, and the guys are saying, "No, no, everyone's going to stay in place. Nothing's going to change." And that lasted about a day, and then they just started treating everybody like shit, and they just did whatever they wanted to do. They started scrapping things, and it was horrible. And there's nothing we could do about it because we're in the foreclosure part of the bank situation right now, and that went on for 6 months.
Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that, because I didn't know any of that.
Oh yeah, no, that was 5 years, and the foreclosure thing went on for 6 months, but I was in the deal for 5 years trying to get out of it and get
Oh my
square,
God.
even after I wasn't there.
Paying attorneys, trying to deal with like paying
Oh
value.
God,
And I'm like,
it was ridiculous. There was and then wait, it gets better. I could share this because I don't give a shit.
okay.
But
Fair.
the guy that I was partners with, the guys that I was one of the partners, three partners. One of the guys really cool. I'm still friends with him. The other guy's a total asshole. He's from a big developer in Chicago. Real piece of shit. And so he goes. I'm not lying. You can't make this shit up. So the bank calls us and says, we got a deal on the property or something. We found out that one of my partners put a group together, went to the bank to buy the note from the bank. Now the property was $6 million. We had another $1 million of soft costs, so we were $7 million into the deal. The bank sold the note to my partner's group, because your partner can't go in and buy anything when you're in foreclosure. But so he sold it to my partner, put together a group that bought the marina and continued to foreclose on me. So my own partner is foreclosing to continue to foreclose on me.
And that's a piece of shit move, bro.
Yeah, it was horrible. They got a great deal on it. They bought it for $1 million. That's how bad things were in 2009. They were doing whatever they can.
Yeah, I knew you were talking about the fallout 08 because everybody lost stuff in 08. If they had anything to do with a mortgage or I feel like a business loan or anything, it was terrible.
That was 5 years I can't get back. But you know what? I survived. They came to foreclose. I had to take care of some things, but I survived and I moved on. And you're not going to stop me.
Did you learn anything from that? I mean, there's a hard lesson in that, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just, what's the lesson in this? Like, which I actually have something I've learned from the IRS audit that I did have. Have an accountant.
Yeah.
Do your taxes if you own a business, period. Yeah. Done. Even if you don't, because I think I was audited on a time I didn't even own a business, possibly. Anyway.
I think the hard question, one of the
lessons.
Exactly what I was trying to say is one of the things I learned the most is ask the hard questions up front, because it's going to save a lot of freaking time down the road. Because if I would have asked some of the questions to the bank, like, hey, is there a problem, or where's this going? Why is it taking so long? Everybody was like, they get in these posturing situations where they don't really want to say anything and they don't want to ask any questions. And I feel like I just wasted so much time of my life, and because I wasn't asking hard questions up front. Because you're afraid, like you're trying to build this relationship with a bank, but at the end of the day, banks are just like, you and me. They're just, they're people. You got to ask the hard questions.
Yeah, that and the partners thing too. That's rough. Also, you're asking hard questions to them because it sounds like you trusted some people too, and it went very sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never trusted him, but he was the 800-pound gorilla, right? He was able to bring in the bank to get the deal done, so that's why we brought him in. But I never trusted him.
Yeah,
Those kind of guys are scrupulous, or
we got to
unscrupulous.
go with your gut. And also, I've
Yeah,
almost opened or done that with the banks. I've been through that with banks several times. And the one of the first things that they want to do, especially if you're going to go with a government secured SBA loan, is
yeah,
they want you to make sure everything you also own or your assets are tied to that loan.
yeah,
They want to know from you, and this is all they care about. They don't give a shit about your business plan. Like, they want to know that you have one and that
yeah.
that you can like try to make money. But like, they're not going to go through that as much as they're going to go through their ability to come back on you if you default, and do not default at all.
Yeah.
Which was the other thing, because it's done. Don't collect anything, because they're going to come after whatever asset they can tie to that. So it's
Right.
a very big, risky thing, and a lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people think, "Oh, I'm going to start a business. I'm just going to go and get what they don't even really exist." But when they give you all this money for nothing, and it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got this." My brain is just not doing the thing, but you know what I'm talking about. Or they're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
there's got to be some sort of grant." That's the word I was looking for. Fucking grant. I don't know how
Right.
many times over the years when I was working for a chamber of commerce, people would come in and be like, "Oh, there's got to be a grant for this business idea." I'm like, "No, there's not." We help kids or housing or like anything to do that our current government cares about. No, then get the fuck out of my office. There's no grant
Yeah.
for your surfboard shop. That doesn't exist.
No.
And if it does, then you got to really probably already have your business operable and
Yeah.
show that you already have everything in place and that you're already making money. It's kind of a backwards deal. I went through the process of trying to be veteran and female only business owned. And with veteran, it was different because I have some DD 214 things I'm still searching out. But with the women in business thing, I could have gone for minority women in business and all that other stuff, But
Right.
so if I ever wanted to have, for example, my husband on the bank account, or if I ever wanted to have a partner or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to do that, because you would have to have 100%. There's just so many hoops that you have to go through that at one point I was just like, fuck this, I'm done.
Yeah. Right.
There's
Exactly.
I don't need to deal with that. Like, it's a lot. I'd rather be able to operate. So fortunately for mine, I don't have to deal with that sort of stuff, but we have been in situations before where we've not gone through with the purchase of a business or the starting of a business or whatever. And man, your story is making me go, I'm so happy that happened.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we talked about what your business that you're going to get into and stuff. I mean,
Clothing
it's
business. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You were very hesitant
there's a
with me,
lot
and
that
now
goes with that. Yeah.
I get it, because I was so excited to tell you that idea.
I
All over it. And now I
wasn't too excited, was I?
no, but now I get why you were trying to be a good friend, and I didn't see that at the time because I didn't know the story.
Yeah. I mean, especially I think of boat manufacturers, that's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of liability that goes with that. I mean, that's stuff that you lose sleep over. Like, I lose sleep now, but I mean, that stuff is like one boating accident, and next thing you know, you're being sued from, 10 different parties. It's like,
Yeah.
man, I don't really want to be involved in that.
You don't have to explain all of that to me. It could have been a toilet manufacturing company. If my husband said, "Patricia, I want to be the king and queen of thrones," I would have been like, "Let's do it." I just wanted to help him kind of realize whatever his dream was. I have my business. I get the pleasure of day to day, everything is different, and I get to immerse myself in all these other people's businesses. And a lot of times they're different categories and different industries, so it's not
Yeah.
always the same. I get to do my podcast now, so it gives me something different to do, and I get that creative out of it. But as long as he's good, my priorities as a kid like completely changed now as a mature
Yeah.
contributing member of society adult. Like, I just want like peace and productivity and success and then that's actually success that's defined differently to me now. It
Yeah.
used to be the amount of money in my bank account, and now it's the quality of life that we can have and what I can do with it for other people. Is that weird? Isn't that weird?
No, that's like kind of how I feel. Like, I'm not driven by money, believe it or not. I mean, I really am not. I mean, I don't
Yeah, I
wake up.
love it. but I don't
And we
love
had
it.
this conversation. We went around the table behind us, and we just said, "What drives you?" And there's like, out of the 10 people that were sitting at the table, I think 2 of them it was money, 2 or 3 of them was money. The rest of it was like success, being, learning this, learning that.
Was
Oh,
that a
it's
car
Hunter. Sorry,
accident?
he doesn't know that we're in
Okay.
the middle of a podcast.
All I saw was, I was like, did
Yeah,
someone just crash into your showroom? Yes,
sorry
that's what.
about that. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts around here. Sometimes it did sound like that. Then I was like, what the hell? What the hell is that?
I, I want to see the outtake of that. Both of our faces just kind of pause and look.
See, we have 2 dogs that run around here, right? We have Sophie, which is a pretty doodle. Then Hunter just got he's got a 7-month-old or 8-month-old German short hair pointer. That thing is crazy as shit. He just
Yeah,
runs around here. And you know anything about pointers,
they need a
German short hair
job.
pointers, they're crazy.
They need a
And
job.
yeah,
That's what those dogs do. Like he needs to
yeah,
be out doing what pointers point. They need something to point to.
yeah,
He's probably losing it because he's just like, I'm a puppy and I don't have a job. I'm a puppy with no job. And he's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like you when
He,
you were a teenager. You can imagine.
you've seen him. You've seen the post on him. He, he's whatever. What were we talking about? What were we talking about before we got the car crashing in the
It
building?
doesn't matter. We were talking about just
Um,
failures and just, I don't know. Like,
being driven. So I asked all the people. There's 2 of them that were money, and it's just I don't know what it is, and I really can't pinpoint it for myself. Like it's not money, which it should be because I feel like I should be farther along in life than what I am. And my wife and people, what the hell are you talking about? It's like I just feel like I should be farther, and I think that's what always drives me is because I always feel like I should be farther along than where I'm at
well,
right
you don't
now.
need to make apologies for the fact that you're striving to constantly improve yourself or your situation or your legacy or your family situation, or that you just don't want
Yeah,
to get bored. And part of it probably is because you might get bored in what you're doing and then you need to
I
move
think
on to the
that's
next
it.
one.
I think that's it.
I'm only saying that because I know you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. I got a stimulation, right? Because something's always got to be going. Like, and the people that work for me, some of them will say squirrel, some will say, whatever they've said over the years. It's like, can I get you for like 10 minutes? Like, you got me for 10 minutes, but then I'm like, phew, I got to have stimulation. Because this everyday paperwork bullshit, making lists and all this other stuff, it's driving me freaking nuts. It's like
yeah.
that's not where my time is best spent. I'm like I don't want to say visionary, but I'm an idea guy, right? I come up with things, I make it happen, and I don't know. That's just who I am. I just
No, it's
gotta make
great
things
to have
happen.
understanding even more about you. Having you say it to me, I was like, yeah, because over the last few years, you used to drive me crazy in the beginning, not because it'd be like, oh my God, he's crazy, but because you would constantly throw out new ideas and things. And now
Yeah,
over the few years, I've realized to embrace it and use it because I'm like, no, he's just got ideas. And now I don't have to think of them all the time. But the other thing is, it's
yeah,
because you get bored and you need to have new ideas. And that's the part of the business that charges you, is being able to see your ideas come to fruition.
yeah. I think that's well said because I like the charges part. And because I don't, like going out on the calls, doing Hunter's going out on he's now our comfort specialist or advisor. So he's going out, he's selling the jobs. And then the guys are going to the service and then they're doing installs and they're doing this in the office. But the part I like the most is the marketing because it's different. It's one, the marketing drives, the sales drives the company, right? But it's just different. And I could be creative like yourself, not as creative as you, but I can still be creative with some ideas.
You have a lot of ideas. You don't give yourself enough credit, and you don't even give yourself enough credit for your knowledge in the industry, because I read your Google reviews. And
Yeah.
somebody specifically just the other day named you because you helped them and you were so knowledgeable. And they were like, thank you, Dan. Dan was so helpful. He was so knowledgeable, blah, blah, blah. And
Well, truth be
you don't,
told, there's more to the story than that there, but it's kind of funny. They called on a Saturday for a service call, and I didn't want to go out to be it was because I was on call. I was going to take the call, so I go, just let me help. Let me see if I can help you over the phone, and I fixed it over the phone, so I didn't have. But selfishly, I didn't go out and take care of them, but saved them some money, and they left a review, so that was kind of cool.
so literally that's even better than what I thought, because I thought for whatever reason you were out helping the guys and, you
No,
didn't
I
take,
just wanted to stay home.
and you probably just wanted to stay home, but you didn't take this person's money and you still helped them.
Yeah,
You were able to
yeah,
fix their problem, and they probably didn't want to wait until the weekend or whatever, whenever the week to have someone come out, because
yeah,
that's annoying, honestly, unless you have someone that works from home all the time. Scheduling service is a pain when you're
yeah,
working during the week.
yeah. I do that a
So
lot. I mean, I fix stuff over the phone a lot.
you
Like,
have more knowledge than you realize.
I just trying to, one, keep my guys. I don't want to burn my guys out, right? Because we're short on service
Mhm.
tech right now, so I don't want to burn them out. So I'll
Yeah.
try to fix it what I can. But then you know what? Those people, if you do that, they're going to remember that, right? So they're going to come back to you when it is time to change out a furnace or an air conditioner or need additional service.
Well, it's just a nice thing to do. I'm trying to be in the mode of like, who could I get to take that call so that I don't have to do it? And, that I get like whatever, but you seem like you actually truly like it.
I like helping people. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do a lot of it. I mean, I do so much of it behind the scenes that nobody knows about. It's just it's in you would just like what the, but whatever. I
No,
like
it's
helping.
never,
I think
it's,
it's the
it's,
way you're brought up. Your family, that's instilled in you from when you were a kid. I was raised with in a good home with parents that cared, and we took care of everybody. That's just what family, and we're still pretty tight family. So
no, you are. I know a couple of your family members actually
you do know my family members.
together, and you guys have for a while. And that's how your company originally got started too.
Uh-huh.
You had a family member. They originally created one,
Yep.
and
And
then
then they came in with me on this one. Yep.
so, I mean, it's hard to be in a family business. We've not had success with that yet, but I try to keep a rule now. Stay away from friends, family, and business unless business becomes friends, because that happens all the time. I can't help that. Because
Yeah.
if like you meet me and we're working together, we're gonna be friends. I'm sorry. Because if I don't like you, I'm probably not gonna work with you. Just
Right.
because
And
that's
what
how.
happens when it's done? Then then that relationship is gone because no
I
longer friends.
Yeah, I get the pleasure though, like with of the people that I do work with, that they
Yeah.
get to choose me too. And when you are intimately involved in somebody's business and their business,
Right.
you can't help but get to know them as people. I've asked you about everything and just different stuff and told you about all kinds of personal shit for me, as far as health things and,
Yeah.
supplements that you should try and like all
Right.
kinds, just because we're good people and I want the people that I am helping, even if that's not what they're paying me to do, to have like
Right.
a good quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also
There to
want to
help.
be myself,
Yeah.
right? So like the reason why I like working with you is that you are a different breed in personality, but your brand is a different breed in personality. So like that's the one that when I give to, like, now I'm not doing all my graphics and stuff, yay. But when I do give to someone, Dylan, yay, she can have fun with it too, because you have
Right.
such a fun brand, and we get to do a lot more different things than I probably have with any other client. Like here's an example. I've never had a client give coffee away for the local uh, first responders on
Right.
Valentine's Day for all the branches of this coffee brand, like in the entire area. It was Big B Coffee, by the way. It's really good coffee. But like, that's pretty amazing. I've never worked with somebody that secretly has helped, I don't know how many people with their HVAC systems on the DL, and we don't
Mhm.
promote it, which
Yeah.
can, I mean, it sounds like you're being law, but you do that. And, if somebody really needs your help, you will help them. There's a lot of those type community things that you actually do or get involved in. The 12 days where you literally just gave your community gifts for 12 days straight last year. There's a lot of stuff that you do
Yeah.
that's different. So it's probably not like your typical heating and cooling company marketing
Yeah.
things, but what people don't know is that those are your ideas coming to life, because you're trying to get this other thing out of you, but also mix it in with your business
Right.
so you can do it and then actually do some good with it, because you do have a good following and goodwill in the community.
Yeah. Luckily, we're liked by many.
You have
And
to
our
be like
reviews are
put yourself
pretty
out
cool.
there.
Yeah. We're getting a lot more reviews every day. It seems like we're getting one or two reviews a day, which is our business. It's not a sexy business, right? Heating and cooling isn't sexy. So we got to do whatever we can to get
Hot wife
every.
billboards everywhere. I guess it's not a
The Hot
sexy.
Wife one is very popular. There's a few of them coming up, I think, this year for sure. We're doing some different ones, but as you know, we're going to try to do it in different towns and stuff. But I don't know, it's just kind of fun, it's fun.
I think you can also educate people and have fun and show your personality and who you guys are as a crew, and not always make it about that. And you're still helping. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I see some of your messages and it's talking about something that I didn't know, which even some of the stuff today is going to help people. And the more that you tell your story, or the more you share your experience as a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever people call it, as a owner in your field, HVAC, which, by the way, you've owned a restaurant before, you own a storage company, several locations. In fact, we didn't even get into that. You've got these things called toy barns. What's a toy barn?
Barn-dominium, yeah.
Yeah, little barn-dominium things that are like, for boats and RVs and shit. That's so cool. Like there's a lot of other things that you also still do, and that you're probably going to do that I don't even know about, because I feel like every 6 months there's like a new business that's coming out.
Yeah, I get that a lot from people.
That you've owned a marina before. I think someone's, and I don't want to call them failure stories, we'll call them practices, like at the beginning. Maybe that'll be something that we call this episode, with practice. Because even the practice businesses, or I would call the practice failure businesses that didn't become purchased or didn't come to fruition. And we've almost opened a winery, and that was a family, shouldn't have opened business with family thing. And then almost opened a gun, or bought a gun range and turned it into a school and all this other stuff. And that was probably the big man upstairs looking out for us, because the next year COVID happened and we would have been bankrupt and lost that house that I was telling you about that the bank wanted me to sign with.
In there,
we almost, one time I wanted to open a lingerie company. That didn't happen. I totally forgot about that. There's like a couple other ones. I feel like there have been like other ones. I've done everything with like guns and boats, manufacturing, speedboat company almost bought. What else? Wine. What am I missing? I feel like I need to open a dispensary, but I'm in a state that doesn't allow it.
What it used to piss me off is I'd go around my mom and dad's friends at the yacht club over here, the Papa Lake Yacht Club. And then their friends would come up to me and they'd say, this is what really pissed me off. Everybody knows me, but knows that this pisses me off. They would say, what are you doing now? It's like,
of course you know what I'm doing. Don't you see my...
Like I was a piece of shit and I wasn't working or anything. I was like, you know what? And now those people, like, whatever. I just...
I'll be the first to call.
It always pissed me off. And that's why I never hung out at the yacht club with my folks or anything, because when somebody says that to me, it's like condescending, it's like, you don't know me. There's no need for that. Yeah, it's not like it'd be different if I was like on the side of the, living in the dumpster or something like that. But I'm doing okay for myself. You don't need to say shit like that. And to this day, there's a couple people that still will say that to me. It's like, I think the longest business I've owned has been 15 years.
That's hugely successful, because a lot of people haven't owned a business for 5.
Yeah.
Get them running. And
we're going on what, 12?
Who doesn't have permission to literally change what they do and reinvent themselves? Michael Jordan is not an athlete. He's a businessman. And actually, he's not even a businessman anymore. He's a fucking fisherman. The man makes millions just going out and fishing for marlin and shit. It's awesome. Like, let's get Michael Jordan's life. But before that, he was a businessman. And even when he was an athlete, he was a businessman. And like Shaquille O'Neal, what fast food chain does he not own right now? I don't even know. The man, like, or insurance company, doesn't he like do something with like the General or whatever? Like they diversify, and I bet people don't go up to me like, "Oh, you're in the insurance business now." Like, no, it's fucking Shaquille O'Neal, because they walk around, "Fuck you, I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I'm going to make money and do my life." It's just people will gaslight you and almost not want to give you permission to make a change or be brave.
Yeah.
It's brave shit. Like everything we talked about today was risk. You going to work for one of those banks, or working for one of those marinas, or working for an HVAC company is a hell of a lot less risky than starting your own.
No shit. What the hell was I thinking?
And anybody that will ever say that to you hasn't done any of that stuff. That's what always, it just triggers the shit out of me, because literally people did that to me too. And I did go from a career job and change that, in fact, during that time, But when I made a change and I started doing my own thing, it was, and it's not their fault because I didn't necessarily know all of what I was going to be doing anyway. But today I could see that. And I don't care. I've not had that interaction probably because I don't even give it the space to do it. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I'm really confident in it. I'm good at it. So fuck you guys.
How many jobs have you been fired from?
I had a restaurant in Kalamazoo, Michigan that fired me for something. Actually, they didn't fire me. I walked out. I was a proud one. So I guess 1, 2. Applebee's fired me.
I had two too.
What?
I've had two too.
I think it was 2. Yeah. So Applebee's fired me on my day off, like the movie Friday. Which wasn't even something I did. It's always for something I didn't do. And then I was let go at another thing that I can't technically talk about, as you know why. For something I didn't do. But here's the other thing I learned about those 2 things is sometimes, one, if you're going to have to take out the king, make sure he's dead your first blow. Don't ever outshine your boss and feel like you're going to actually survive that shit. And for me, that's just kind of probably what happened. Looking back, the emotional, intelligent version of me was like, could I have done different things to have a different outcome? And the answer is no, but also yes.
Yeah.
Because if I just put my head down and did the things that people wanted me to do, and this isn't the, then I would have probably survived that job for another 20 years. Now, if you ask me, would I be happy? Fuck, no, I wouldn't have been happy. I'd been so miserable and overweight and just like, and I would have been people pleasing and my stress and probably divorced because I would always give everybody else my time. My cortisol levels would be shit. Now I'm a different woman. In fact, like I am so happy with who I am and proud of who I became today.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could go back to that insecure 20-something-year-old, 30-something-year-old and be like, yo, check out what she's coming. She's coming. And it was all that.
I could go back. Now we're going back, right? I can go back.
But if I didn't have that stuff and those failures and those business experiences, I literally would not be able to have the conversations that I have today with people about all these awesome things that they can now step aside and not do because I've already been through them.
Right.
It just, that's how you help people with your shit.
Yeah. I think I've helped people over the years just because of some of the bad things that I've been through. Stay away from this. Don't do this. I talked to a guy the other day, developer wants to do some stuff in another town. And it's like, and it just reminded me of me like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. It's like, dude, stop right now, slow down because you're where you're going. And same thing with the restaurant. When people tell me, I love this because, I want to get in the restaurant because I'm going to do this and it's going to be fresh fish and we're going to import it from here and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. It's like, dude, stop. Turn around right now. Close it. Don't even buy the place. Just walk away because, if you're, I'm not saying you can't make money in a restaurant, but it's very difficult and people don't realize how difficult it is.
Of all the businesses actually to go out there.
Do you know that for every 2 restaurants that open up, 3 close?
Damn.
Yeah. Do you know that the second this was like a few years ago, the most stressful jobs, I was looking at something that said the most stressful jobs in the United States. Air traffic controller was number 1 and a restaurant server was number 2.
I was almost an air traffic controller when I joined the Army, but I didn't choose that one. It was like air traffic control, military police, intelligence analyst. So I went with the third. But that's funny shit because I thought that was like the least of all the stressful. But when you think about it, especially now, that shit is stressful.
Yeah, because when people get hungry, they want their food, right? It's like, where's my food? And it's wrong.
Stuff. I mean, honestly, looking back, it was stressful and I thought the world was going to end. And watching the movie Waiting, I'm like, this is real. They are that crazy in the back. But like, it wasn't anything compared to what a plane could crash and they are all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so much more bigger things looking back when I worked in the restaurant business that could have been like, even getting fired from those guys. Like, what a dumb thing, to get fired on your day off. Like, that's so stupid.
I got fired from Pepsi Cola I did these bag-in-the-box things. It was a freaking horrible job. That was my second horrible or more worst job I ever had was that. But I had to make a bag-in-the-box where you just take the restaurants, you buy the syrup in the bag. And this is what I did 1,200 times, pushed it up to the thing, moved it down the line, right? 1,200
Great
times
arm.
a day. Oh my God. I got fired because I was working the third shift and I just had a hard time making it to the third shift, I guess, apparently. So that was my first time I got fired when I was, I don't know, I was young.
I got fired because I was the shift manager. And by the way, they've hired me underage. They did this twice. They hired me before I turned 18 because I was dual enrolled in college. And I interviewed, I gave them all my stuff, but they didn't look. So they had me like serving alcohol and stuff illegally for like a month or two. And then they pulled me aside like, oh, sorry. We did this
Yeah.
thing, hired you. And I was like, am I fired? They're like, no. But we're going to make you a hostess and put you where we could legally have you until you turn 18, which is in like a month or a couple weeks. And I was like, I hate it. Did it for like a day, wrote on a crayon and quit. And the manager's like, no. So he follows me and he's like, what do you want to do? We'll put you in the kitchen. So I started doing all like the line cook stuff. So I did fry and like grill. And I was really short, so I'd have to like hop up to hit the microwave and stuff. And then when I turned 18, because I knew all the different stations, they made me a key manager. And then I got to be an actual like key manager, a different one. So I moved for this other job and I thought I was an Apple buddy for life. I was becoming a trainer and it was so cool. And I told my shift that I wasn't going to be paying attention. Stupid idiot kid. And I was going to be at this table making sure I was putting all my stupid booklets together for other stores, the book of rules. And one of them made like a drink mess up and slid it over to another server, like the bartender, like, and they drank out of it on my shift. And it was during a sting operation.
Really?
So they got fired and I got fired. And they did it on my day off. So I'm getting office supplies for them and shit. And they called me in and I was so excited to let the boss know I went and got like paper and shit. And they took me to Subway next door and fired. Everybody felt really bad about it. I mean, I felt worse, but I got a job the next day from a customer.
There you go.
And owned a company called Progressive Building Services. And like literally that's how my whole just changed from that. But it's always been like either through a connection or luck my whole entire career.
Yeah.
And anything I ever sought out to do like kind of happened, but not really. So this is the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm having a lot of fun. But
the last time I got fired that's why I started that's why I got into the HVAC business because of that.
Really?
Yeah, when the marina collapsed, I went to work for the construction company that was going to build the marina. It was called Lamar Construction. They're gone now, but they're up in Hudsonville. And I went to the owner who I knew and asked him, I told him, I said, I could bring you a couple jobs right away, big jobs. And I became one of their salesmen. And I was there for a year. And then they brought me down into the human resource office. And the sales manager fired me. It's like, this is freaking horrible. Like I was, this was not too long ago. This is in 2013. So not too long ago. So I was like, I don't know how old I was, whatever. But old enough to like, I had a family, I had a house, mortgage, the whole 9 yards. And it's like, what the hell? Because I was bringing them jobs, and it was like, what the hell? Well, come to find out, they were in trouble, and 6 months after I left there, they went bankrupt in the middle of a big project in St. Joe and some other things. But then they didn't want to pay me, so it was a freaking mess. But after that, I decided, fuck that. I'm not going to let anybody dictate my life. Ain't going to happen. I'm going to be, I'm going to work for myself, and I'm going to do what I got to do to make money. And I
love it.
Before that, I always did. I wasn't expecting 2009 to happen, right? It just blew everybody out of the water. I don't know if you remember, but it was bad.
Do. I was young, but everything I did financially, I think I was selling radio at the time. So I'm a commission salesperson going, well, I just bought my first house. Oh God, I just bought my first house. That wasn't fun, but I was able to keep it on a shoestring budget, basically. Thank God it was a cheap house. Yeah. But I get that 1,000%. So that
I don't want anybody controlling my.
Never happened to you.
Yeah.
Literally. Like when you think about it, one of the worst things that ever happened to me ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to me.
That's probably true. Now that you said that, it probably was one of the best things. It's, because here's what it does. Like the heating company feeds the machine, it pays the bills, right? It's my day job, right? But I also have, this fire burning inside me to do other things. So this gives me the ability to pay the bills and take care of the household stuff. And then my development stuff or the storage, whatever else I do, is just my side hustle, right? because I think everybody should have a side hustle.
Or just something that brings them joy.
Yeah. And
I
to
feel
me,
that.
that's hustling, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like someone gave me a thing that was like stay calm and hustle hard, and I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to hustle. Like, I want the choice to hustle because I have to, or I don't because I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
Yeah, right. It's
you
not.
know, I want to have different things because I want to, and I'm just I'm just in this different mode. Everybody's gonna think I'm just a stick in the mud. Like, I don't want to do shit or help anybody. Like, no, that's not the case. I do. I love it. I do have energy and things, especially on my NAD days because I started taking some peptides, and I'm like, oh, goo. But I am not the I think I'm just kind of finding more like my life, and I'm good in this place. And I have a similar thing where my business is that for me. It's fulfills all of the needs, and I get to help people through it, and I get to make income, and that's great.
Right.
But the things that bring me joy, spending time with my husband, doing this podcast, hopefully going on my boat. I'm going to go to some concerts soon. I'm coming back up to Michigan to see my friends and family at some point. Like, I want to do more because we don't know when that day is going to come where we're not here. And damn, I don't think no one's going to give me that time, or they're going to be like, oh, here's the list of shit that you wanted to do that you never got a chance to do. So whether it's starting a new business or just going on vacation, which is also in my plans this year, like, I'm just going to do more of that.
I think I would encourage, if somebody asked me if they should start their own business, depending on what it was, I would definitely encourage them, unless it was a restaurant. But
yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, or a marina. Sorry.
Or damn.
But yes. I think everybody, you have to take a shot, right? Because then if you don't, what do you got? You're working for somebody the rest of your life. You can't build, and maybe I'm wrong here, but from what I understand from a lot of other people that are a lot smarter than me, is you're not going to build wealth by the hour. It just doesn't happen, right? I mean, it just take a shot and make something happen.
Yeah. Well,
you can always go back to your.
You make wealth by the hour, but it just depends on what you're doing and what brings you that fulfillment.
Right.
If you are going to be fulfilled, having a list of shit at the end of your life, going, man, it would have been cool if I started that, or what if? I just don't want those what ifs on my list.
Yeah.
So if it's someone I've always wanted to see, like Stevie Nicks, or if it's something like that I've always wanted to do, I'm going to take that step and do it.
Yep.
So you seem like that very, very much. And I think that you gave a really good piece of advice to someone that wants to start their own business. The piece of advice is just go ahead and start it.
Yeah. Do your homework, then start it.
And then ask fucking questions, because you don't want to have that happen to you. And then if you do, ask questions and call Dan. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, he'll tell you. So a lot of talk today about risk and running a business and just past stuff. I had a lot of fun with you today. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Class. So I know that if you want to get a hold of Dan's business, you can always just go to sensiblemichigan.com, and all his shit is there. Like all his stuff, his phone number, his email's on there, all the things. Or you can find him on social media, and maybe he will want to do some more of this type of stuff too, because you're really good at it.
Yeah, no. But can I plug my new book?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you.
How did I not know there's a book?
No, but I had to tell you this. I've been waiting to bring this in. So this person, I don't know what this is called, Forge or Cornerstone. It's a marketing company. They sent you this whole book. They take a picture of you. They make I don't know if that looks like me or not, but anyways.
Kind of it does.
They take this book and then they write inside some nice things in there. There's a QR code to hit it up. And then the rest of the pages are blank. So basically, write your future. How cool is that?
Oh
so get the book by Dan Crist.
My jaw dropped because I was like, what in the actual fuck? How do I not know that you have a book out or whatever?
What a genius marketing, right? How great is that? I don't know how much this costs, but I mean, it's just.
That is amazing. I absolutely love that. And I want to know the name of that company because that's really cool shit. And here's a tip for you. Yeah. I got my mom this last year, my brothers and I, for Christmas. It's called Romento. There's so many different ones like it, but we got the specific one because She's a senior in technology, right? So it sends her an email every week. She clicks on the link and boom, she can record a prompt to an answer of a question or share a story or whatever. And at
Cool.
the end of the year, it will print books for us and send and mail us the book from all her stories. So we will get her life story.
Nice.
So what a cool way and easy way to write your own book.
Yeah. It is cool.
Like me and you're like all over the place, but that's cool shit. So yeah.
That's kind of cool.
We pull it back up again. I want to see that because it just like freaked me out. And I was like,
No, didn't it?
shaping the future at Centsible with the help of Cornerstone. Daniel Crist.
Isn't that cool? It's
Cornerstone
like,
company?
what's it? It's Cornerstone. Yeah, it's Cornerstone.
Something.
Yeah, Cornerstone Advertising.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's like a coaching.
Podcast now because we just blocked.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, bud, I will talk to you next week. I want to thank you again for spending some time with me.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Should have been the first one. I'm pissed that I wasn't the first one.
But we were not prepared. This was a
Yeah.
1,000 times better, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Yeah, this was so much better of a conversation, and I loved the hunter pressing his face up against the glass and falling down. I could
he was
kind
doing
of
that?
reflection. Yeah, that's what that car crash sound was. So just so you know, he's totally possessed, and now the world will know that.
That's awesome.
That's what he gets. But yeah, this was great. Thanks, man. Come again.
All right, thank you.